Our cuisine is very different than any European food. We have a lot of meat, a lot of different spices. Our traditional dish in Jordan is called mansaf, and what is comprised of it's basically a big dish of rice with like big pieces of meat on top, and you have this one dish, and people gather around the dish in big events like weddings and things like that. They have it, and they follow Bedouin traditions when people used to actually eat it with their hands. So there's this specific type of yogurt. It's really hot, and they pour it over the dish, and then each person has to, like, you just eat it with your hand. So you take a piece of meat and you eat the rice. But they also have like very strict rules. So when you're standing, you have to just, like, put one hand behind your back so that you don't get like all messy and stuff. So you're only allowed to get one hand dirty, and you're only allowed to eat from the like section in front of you, and you're not allowed to like go. And it's very rude to like like go across the house, like eat from the other side of the dish. So this is the map of Jordan. I don't know if it's very clear, but Syria is to the north. Down here we have the Saudi Arabia. And I just wanted to tell you a little bit about major cities in Jordan. So over here we have Amman, which is our capital. And it is, of course, the most developed city in our country. Something very special about Amman is its architecture, because up until several years ago, people were only allowed to use a specific type of stone for building the houses. So it said if you look at Amman from like a bird's eye view, they all look like Lego blocks, because it's all like white stone and they all look the same. But of course, several years ago, this law has been removed, and we don't only have those anymore. So after Amman, you go down, we have the famous Dead Sea, which is the lowest point on Earth and also the biggest natural spa. If any of you don't know the Dead Sea, it's basically very salty, so there is no living life in the Dead Sea, but the salt and the mud that you get from there is very healthy and very good for your skin and body. Moving a bit down from there, we have a city called Madaba, and it's one of the very important cities in Jordan. It is actually a Christian city, and which has a lot of churches. And so one thing that the city is famous for is mosaics, and they do a lot of handmade mosaics. And if you go into their churches, they have big murals, and that took like probably weeks or months to do these mosaics. You can take a closer look. And moving down from there, this is the part where, as you can see, it's a bit less developed. This is where we have a big desert, and part of this desert is called Wadi Rum, and it's a very popular touristic location because people go there to camp and to hike, and it's a very different scene than you would see anywhere else. It's very pretty. It's just miles and miles of desert, but it's also a lot of mountains that have a specific, almost reddish color, like reddish brown. It's very beautiful. Going down from there, we have a little bit of the Red Sea, and in that city we call it Aqaba, and that's our only port city, and it's 4 hours away from the capital, so that's the only sea that we get in Jordan. So this is like a summary of the country, and I also have something. So one thing that's unique not only about Jordan but also of the region is our language and our alphabet. So I have here a little thing to introduce you to the Arabic language. Thank you. Okay, so we write from right to left, so the other way around, and this is the Arabic alphabet. So I'm going to read them out, and feel free to repeat after me. I don't know if it's very clear, but I have them written in English as well. It's not exactly, but That's almost how you would pronounce it if you would write it in English. So, the first letter is Alif.
Alif.
Ba.
Ba.
Ta.
Ta.
Tha.
Tha.
Jim.
Jim.
Ha.
Ha.
Kha.
Ha.
Dal.
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 Ra.
Ra.
Zain.
Zain.
Sin.
Sin.
Shin.
Shin.
Sad.
Sad.
Dad.
Dad.
Ta.
Da.
Dha.
Da.
Ain.
Ain.
Ghain.
Ghain.
Fa.
Fa.
Qaf.
Ka.
Kaf.
Kaf.
Lam.
Lam.
Mim.
Mim.
Nun.
Nun.
Ha.
Ha.
Waw.
Waw.
And Ya.
Ya.
Okay, so this is just a small taster, and I have a video from Jordan Tourism Board that just shows.
How many slides are there?
I forgot to set it up. It's going to be in the video.
No, it's